Welcome back to my channel where I like to talk about money. I like to talk about savings, budgeting, basically anything to do with money. That's what we're talking about on this channel. And today we're going to be talking about stocks, and more specifically mine. So if you're into that, please stick with the video and we will get right into my portfolio. So I am going to be showing you guys both of my portfolios, Schwab and Fidelity, individual and Roth IRA, so that you can see where I am at after all the crazy volatility that happened from January to now, as well as news of stock splits and all of that other stuff. I am going to start with my Fidelity account that's smaller. It's my individual account, and currently my Fidelity account has $17,048.73. I have 3 positions in my individual account right now. The first one being JEPI, the exchange traded fund for JP Morgan. It does give a pretty good dividend. I have 28.2 shares of JEPI, and they did just pay a dividend that I didn't get in on time for, so I didn't get that, but I do look forward to getting the dividend next time. We followed the crowd on this one. A lot of people talk about their dividend reliability. While I'm not completely sold on the reliability of the dividend, I do like the growth potential of the fund, which is why I ended up buying into it. I don't know if I'm gonna be making a huge position, but I'm pretty happy with where I'm at with the 28 shares. My second position is VOO. I have 15 shares of the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, and the current value that I'm in at is $6,290.60. So my cost basis per share is about $407. I just really have most of my position in this particular fund so that it can offset some of the playing around that I plan on doing with other stocks in the future. I know I only have 3 positions right now in this portfolio, but I do plan on, buying other things, listening to the news and acting accordingly, which isn't something that I suggest doing. None of this is financial advice, by the way. I do like to use my individual account for more speculative things and just to have some fun. My last position in my individual account is Amazon. And I have 1 share of Amazon because I jumped on when I found out that it was going to split. I heard that it was going to split, and then I looked at the price, and the price was still pretty low. So I was like, okay, let me get 1 share because the stock split is going to be a 20-to-1 split. 20 is a good starting point, and I really feel like once it becomes more accessible to the general public, not worth $3,000, but in the 100s or 200s, I really feel like it will raise its value over time. So I just wanted to catch that wave. We don't know if it's going to go up, but I'm willing to take that risk with $3,000. So that's where I'm at with Amazon. I've been in this stock since February, so I'm just gonna let it sit, see what it does. We're gonna continue to watch it, and once the stock does split in June, we're definitely gonna be making a video and seeing how things are. I do have 1 more in my individual account. It's weird. It's merged with my 401k. I'm gonna leave that one out just because it's a target date fund, and I am not gonna be talking about those on my channel. That accounts for the other like 6 or so grand in my individual account. We're gonna go into Charles Schwab. It actually has my Roth IRA and my traditional IRA. So my traditional IRA is just a whole bunch of rollovers from my past jobs. They account for about $20,000 or so. There is a little bit of overlap in some of the funds that I do have just because they're separate accounts, but they're all together, but they're Roth and traditional. So with that being said, I'm gonna start with my traditional IRA, all of my rollovers from past 401ks. And I am going to show you what I've got. So I have 57.37 shares of VTI, which is the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. And I got in a while ago, like sometime last year at $229.20. So I am down on my position. I like that it gives quarterly dividends as well. The next position that I have is actually the Vanguard Real Estate ETF, VNQ. I got lucky and actually got into VNQ. I got in at like 80 something. It was really low when I got in, and like it might have been 2020. And it's just been going up ever since. So even with the fall of the market, it never went into the red. So that's great. At $98.78 is my average cost per share. And then my last position in my traditional IRA is Starbucks. And the reason why it's Starbucks is because I had like an extra $60 or so left over that I couldn't put into VTI. And I have not even a full share of this. I'm up on it, but it really doesn't matter. It's very trivial. So that's what I have in my traditional IRA. And then we're gonna move on to my Roth IRA. The Roth IRA is not speculative whatsoever. It's just straight up index and mutual funds, just playing it safe. I set this and forget this. I put my 6 grand in every year and leave it while I play around with my individual stocks throughout the year. My first one is the Schwab US Dividend Equity Fund, ETF, SCHD. And I have 101 shares. I bought in this fund at about $76.97. So that's not the lowest it's been, obviously. So with that being said, I do feel like in the future, it will eventually reach $90, $100 in the distant future though. I'm not expecting it to reach that this year. If it does, I'll be very pleasantly surprised, but we'll see. And I do appreciate that it gives a quarterly dividend as well. I usually get on average about $52 and it just reinvests into the fund as I get the dividend. My next position is the Schwab International Index Fund, SWISX. I have 197 shares of this fund, and I am currently down on this fund as well. This fund, I'm not sure about because it just doesn't do well. My most favorite index fund in the world, the last position that I have in my Roth IRA, is the Schwab Total Stock Market Mutual Fund, SWTSX. I talk about this all the time. I've written about it in my blog. I talk about it to my friends. I've spoken about it in other videos. That is my absolute favorite index fund. I love this fund. It's treated me very well since 2018 when I first got into it, and it's just grown so much. I got in this stock at about $56. For those of you who have this fund, do you remember when this stock was in the 50s? Like, it's never gonna get there again, ever. Like in 2020, March, it was very close to like 59. It was like teetering 60. Never again is it ever gonna get that low, I feel like. I currently have a position of 179 shares, and my total like average cost per share right now with dollar cost averaging is $66.88. Those are the funds that are in my Roth IRA and my traditional IRA. The complete IRA account totals about $45,327. Year to date, I am up 9.4%, which is fantastic. And then my max is 527.81%. So I am up 500% just from investing in total stock market index funds and the S&P 500 and just setting it and forgetting it. Even with the recent volatility that's been happening for the past few months. That is why index funds are always gonna be superior in my opinion, but this is not financial advice. Okay, let's just real quick go into personal capital. I do track my investments in personal capital for free. If we add all of it up together, I have a total of $63,266.97 in investments. I would say that's pretty good. You know, that's pretty good for someone who's not even 30 yet. I mean, some people are higher, some people are lower. You know, we're all running our own race, but I am happy with my position right now. That is pretty much what I've got going on in my investment accounts. I've got you all in my business this time, and I want to know what you guys are doing in yours, how you guys are doing with the recent volatility of the market, if you've been enjoying the recent green days that we've been having, if you've been even paying attention to those, and what you think about the stock split coming for Amazon. I am completely looking forward to hearing your responses in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time with another video.